I'm Phil Thompson, and glad that you have logged on. Steve Lacey, our founder and president, is actually behind the camera again. Steve really should be in front of the camera. He's got a better looking face than I do, but he lost the coin flip, so that's the way it goes. But we are here today to actually talk a little bit of a different vein of things. I'm here with Johnny Wyatt, and I'm going to officially introduce you in a second, Johnny. But let me get some preliminaries out of the way here. First of all, this, as well as many of the other things we do, are archived, and so you are welcome to check out our archives. In fact, there is a link just down below the chat window here that you can click on later and look at some of the stuff we've done before. But we primarily talk about streaming video and streaming online, live, and how you can use that for your church or your ministry or even your business for that matter. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But we are over here, as we usually are, at Rockin' Java, which is over here northwest part of Tucson, over here in Continental Ranch area. A live church has a venue here. In fact, usually we're actually out in the coffee shop, but they're actually busy thanks to our fine promotion. And so we're back in an area here where they actually have their worship services here Saturday and Sundays, a venue that a live church has. So that's where we're at here today, and we're glad that you are with us. So I guess I got most of the preliminaries out. I'm here with Johnny Wyatt. Johnny, thank you for being our guest here today.
Thank you. It's really a delight to be here.
Well, we're delighted to have you. I'm very excited about this because we're going to talk about social media. You're with the J3 effect, and we'll talk a little bit about what that is. But some people might say, okay, what are you talking about social media for? We want to talk about streaming and, all that technical stuff. But you know what? If you don't have people coming to your streaming site, if you don't have people watching your live broadcast, what good is it? And social media can help direct people to your website. I have a blog, philthompsonlive.com, and I think I have about 3 readers on it, my wife, myself, and my dog. And my dog really doesn't count because he says he doesn't like it. So I need to drive people to my website. And if you're streaming out there or thinking about streaming, one of the things you need to consider is getting people to your website, to your streaming site. So that's really what we're going to talk about a little bit today, how social media can do that. So let me ask you, Johnny, first off, social media, a lot of terms out there. What exactly, in your idea, your definition, is social media?
Phil, that's a question that very often people ask, even still. But as soon as you mention Facebook and Twitter, then they say, oh, that. So they understand that at least the names of the tools. They know the tools. But social media is conversation. Is what it really boils down to. It's a two-way conversation, and people have not been able to have two-way conversations with large numbers of people ever before.
Okay.
But today you can make a note on Facebook, and
Right.
And the average Facebook account out there's about 130, 150 friends in average.
For the average person has about 100 to 150 friends now.
Yeah, according to the Facebook sociologist.
I have 5.
You have 5 friends. Well, see, you're on your way.
Actually, I have a little more, but yeah.
And when you get it close to 5,000, you're going to be getting to the limit. That's just a Facebook friend page can only have 5,000 people on the page. And so social media is really people meeting online, connecting with each other online, and people being able to observe you connecting with other people online and entering into the conversation. So it's very much like going to a coffee shop. And
good analogy. That's where we're at.
Yeah, it's like going to a coffee shop with the same group of people every day, but maybe 150 people, and everybody being able to see what everybody else is saying and comment on it, like it,
okay,
or not like it, or make a comment on it, add to it, and so it's really conversation online.
Okay. All right. Now, by the way, I also want to mention that if you have any questions for Johnny or for us here at Streaming Church TV, and especially about the subject of social media, feel free to type in your questions here on the chat. We will do our very best to answer those. Of course, we're talking, assuming live here. Obviously, if you watch this later on our archive, you can still send us an email and ask us questions. Okay, I've got some notes here about social media, just to bring it up, and you were talking about how it's grown and it continues to grow. You've got some notes here actually from your company here that says social media has now become the #1 activity on the web. It's actually overtaken porn and has become the #1 activity on the web. And and that's happened in just a matter of a few short years.
Yes. Really, it's a combination of high-speed internet, people having a proliferation of that. Today, I haven't seen just the most recent statistics, but last year it was like 67% of American adults all had high-speed internet, and that really does facilitate social media. And then
does for streaming too.
Yeah, it makes a lot of difference, doesn't it, for streaming? So websites and all kinds of communication tools online have really become popular since that's been the case, and so for some reason Facebook it's just exactly the right tool, right combination of capabilities, and it's caught on. And there's like over 500 million people who are on Facebook, and about half of those people every day for about an hour on the average.
That's amazing. One of the things you mentioned here is that radio, and I used to be in radio for a long time, and radio, it took radio 38 years to reach 50 million users.
Yeah.
It took television 13 years.
Right.
And then it took the internet 4 years to reach 50 million users. Quite a change there as far as the time to reach that number. iPod, it took them only 3 years, and Facebook, as you just mentioned, added 100 million users in less than 9 months. That's incredible. That's amazing. And then iPhone applications hit 1 billion in 9 months. And so that's just incredible. It's just taking off. Why is it taking off so fast? Besides the fact that we've got high whatever they call it, high-speed internet now. I mean, are people out there looking for something more in their life?
What is the driver here that's causing this thing to grow so fast? I thought about that, and I grew up in a town that had 2,000 people in it, and you could go downtown, you could go to the drugstore, and you could sit on a stool and drink a root beer, and you could talk to your friends, and business people would gather there at the same time every day, and they would just talk about what's going on in their business, and they would fuss about the fact that a sofa is late getting in from Dallas from Mrs. Jones, and somebody would crack a joke about the dentist being down in the mouth all day long and stuff like that.
Right.
And there was just people had relationships with a large number of people that were close by, and as we moved to the city, we kind of lost the ability to do that. Mm-hmm. And there's just been sort of a hunger in people to relate to people that are of kindred spirit, and social media has made that possible. And so now your relationships are as close as your computer screen, and the people can be as far away as halfway around the world.
That's amazing, isn't it? That's remarkable.
And so I think it's a human need. I think it's just a human need for relationship, for some transparency, for some intimacy, and for just kind of knowing what's going on in each other's lives.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, well, let's talk about how this applies to the church and businesses as well. But since we're really kind of talking more about ministry here on this program, let's talk about the church. The church, it seems like to me, is a little behind in that area of using social media. Why should the church use social media, and how can they use it to reach people?
Social media has the power to make accessible the huge network of people that make up a person's social network. Facebook calls it a social graph, and which is a mathematical term. It's just the model that models this network of people. And so you know probably 150 people pretty well, and those 150 people know you pretty well. And so if you're a member of my church, and I build a relationship with you online, well, all 150 of your friends can see that, and so they can sense the personality of the church. They can sense the warmth and the compassion of the church. They can see me celebrate with you whenever something good happens. They can see me just chatting with you, maybe providing you with some cool information that you didn't know. I found out something cool, a really good Facebook tip I'll pass on here at some point.
Okay, all right.
I learned it just yesterday, and so they can see me, sharing a really cool tip of some kind about a sale that's going on, or you can ask, do you know a good CPA? And I'm getting ready to get my taxes together, and
right.
And so it's people can observe that, and if you talk about your faith online, people can quietly listen in on that, and you're not talking to just your friends. The thing that about social media is that each one of the 150 friends that you have, each one of them that has a Facebook account has 150 people.
So it multiplies and multiplies and multiplies over and over. And
in that next row, you get just 3 levels out, and you're 2 million people. And so it's possible to have a reach that's beyond the kind of reach that you can have with direct mail or with really any other media.
Right. Okay.
And any other media that you might use as far as reaching people is concerned is all a one-way conversation. As powerful as that is, and it is powerful, radio and television is very powerful, but it is not two-way conversation more powerful. Yeah. And social media provides not only that reach into the social graph, so to speak, but it provides a two-way conversation with anybody out there that wants to get in on it.
Yeah, it really does. So how can the church, people out there watching this broadcast who are streaming or thinking about streaming, how can they use social media now to get people to their church website?
Well,
I know that's a complicated question, but give me an answer in 2 minutes.
All right. I think I can. I think maybe I'd like to ask the question just a little bit better. All right, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Wouldn't be the first time. Rephrase the question,
yeah.
So you can give a better answer.
I want to rephrase the question that what can you really do with social media that you really can't do any other way. Okay. You can develop a what they call social equity. You can develop trust, okay. And so a person is going to come to your website out of hunger, out of their own need for spiritual solutions in their life. And so if they sense that there's a possibility of spiritual solutions, they see the relationships. Obviously, your relationships are probably going to include a number of people who are from your church. And so you're talking about things that are going on at your church. You're telling stories about things that are going on at church.
Now this is like on Facebook or Twitter.
On Facebook or on Twitter.
Or MySpace.
And MySpace, which interestingly is losing ground to Facebook these days, but Facebook being the big daddy at this time. And so maybe a quote from Annette Simmons in her book, The Story Factor, might be really a helpful quote. She said, it's the specifics in your story that people connect with. And so I'm sitting out there and I'm hungry for spiritual things. I've got struggles in my life, and people are more fearful today than they've ever been. There's probably more problems plaguing humanity today than we've ever known. And so people are looking for solutions. They're looking for substantial answers. And so when the specifics come up that ring their bell, and then they're going to be motivated to look for the solution. If they sense the solution, maybe your website or your church, that's where they're going to go and check it out.
Okay. So your advice then is to feel free to talk about those things. Get an account on Facebook if you don't have one. Maybe your church can have an account as well. I mean, there's personal accounts, but also there's you can get these other accounts, like StreamingChurch TV has one. A lot of churches I know do have some. Alive Church has them, where you can become a. Do they still use the term fan on Facebook or whatever, or friend on Facebook, where you can actually? So you're saying, get on those social media sites and start talking,
and just and be yourself. Be a Christian online.
Okay.
And what you're talking about is there's the friend page, which everybody can has. And in fact, in order to participate in Facebook, you've got to first have a friend page.
Right.
And it's private. It's not searchable. But there's a fan page that was developed 18 months, 2 years ago, really for business, but it works great for church as well. And a fan page, anybody can join by just punching what they call the like button. It used to be fan button.
And now it's just like. Okay, that's where I got confused there. So
yeah,
okay.
And so it's that fan page, and so. To be practical and to get just a little bit technical, I would say that set up a fan page and a Twitter site. Okay. And if you have things that you're videoing in your church, then set up a YouTube site.
Okay.
And put the videos that happen at social events. And the cool thing about YouTube and Facebook, you can put pictures up there that are not necessarily professional quality. Mm-hmm. And it's acceptable.
Kind of like what we're doing here.
Well,
I mean, it's true. I mean, we drag things. It's supposed to be an informal, kind of a raw thing. We just do it to show people how simple it is to actually do it. Not necessarily do it well, but do it. So set up a YouTube an account, Twitter, which we talked about Twitter a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So on this show, so people can look it up in the archives. Facebook, Twitter, and maybe MySpace if you've got music or something. Maybe.
I wouldn't take it too broad because you've got to manage it. And now there is an advantage. And this just might be just in terms of getting people to your website when they're searching for a church. That the more people in your church staff and all that you can get to actually set up a LinkedIn account.
Okay.
Which is it's a professional type of Facebook account.
Yeah.
And because there's a big profile in there, and they can mention, what they do in the church and as a church. They can tell stories in there. And their profile can be very complete with church.
Now, I heard
things.
that's going downhill too. Am I right about that or not?
If that is right, it's not something that I have heard about.
Okay. It's probably not accurate. So
it's.
And that's LinkedIn. That's spelled LINKEND.
LinkedIn.
Right. I'm not on it. So.
And then you put your church website as a link on that page.
Okay.
And so it's like making your church website have more pages, and which just raises you in the Google search. So that's one helpful thing to do. Okay. But let's just center in on the fan page, and what to do on the fan page. You're going to have fans that are on there, but what do you do with those fans?
Right.
All right. What if you set up a database like a really good one that we use in our company is called High-Rise, and it's not terribly expensive, and it is put out by a company called 37 Signals, and you go ahead and put all of your fans in that High-Rise. Okay. And then you can set up a special group. We call it a case, but you can set up a group of say 15, 30 people, and that are of the fans. And so now you've got your whole fan base divided into these groups of 15 to 30 people.
Okay.
And you say, okay, this week we're going to contact all 15 of these people, and so you contact them and send them maybe send them just a great scripture verse, a verse of the day, or a great quote, a tip about a great book, maybe a great quote out of the sermon from last Sunday or something like that. Mm-hmm. and maybe you take the time to go to their Facebook page, because once they are a fan, then you can click on their picture and actually look at their page, and maybe see some interest that they have, comment on that, see they have a birthday, wish them happy birthday.
Okay. So again, kind of a two-way thing here. They're on there, but you're also reaching out to them.
You're going to reach out to them. Yeah. And I would say that there's three things you do. There's chatter, celebration, and comfort. And so the chatter, let's just let that be everything from I had coffee today at Rock and Java. Okay. And they really do have cool coffee, and I upload a picture of Rock and Java from my phone. Okay. And then people people will make comment on that, and they'll say, "Gee whiz, I've never been there. That sounds neat." Or somebody says, "Yeah, that's my favorite coffee shop." And the bridge just is about to open up, and it'll be really easy for you to get there.
And that's right. It will be too very soon.
Yeah,
Twin Peaks. Yeah, that's right.
And of course, I know this is going out to the whole world, so most people don't know what Twin Peaks is, but
it's an exit.
So what? And it's a good thing for the people who are close by.
Right.
So chatter would be everything from making that kind of comment to providing a really important piece of information, maybe a reference to a blog where somebody has written something that is really great about fear, or about finances, or a relationship, and marriage, or children, or parenting. Mm-hmm. And so it would be, and you can just put that on the page. You can link that on the page. And so chatter is everything from just chatting to information, and then celebration is the scripture says that to rejoice with those who rejoice. Mm-hmm. And so celebration is just making a little bit of a fuss over something that happens good in somebody's life. When somebody crosses an important finish line, somebody happens to
take a picture of us.
Get a promotion. Yeah. Someone has a son who becomes captain of the football team, or a girl. So you celebrate that. You say, "Hey, this is we're really excited to see that's happening in your life," and people appreciate that.
Yeah.
And as the relationship grows, somebody says, "I lost my dad," or my husband lost his job, and the scripture also says, "Mourn with those who mourn." Right. And so it is a great opportunity then for the church, even the church staff, to reach out and say, "Hey, thank you for being a member of our fan page, mm-hmm. but we just want to let you know that we're grieving with you," and maybe some flowers.
Yeah. I just had my son take a picture of us talking here. We'll upload it on Facebook here in a couple minutes.
Okay.
And taking your advice. Okay, I've just got a few more minutes here, but I just want to reiterate, I'm talking with Johnny Wyatt from the J3 Effect. There's a link down below the chat here that you can look at, and just open up that J3 graphic, and that will go to your website. And people can look and see a little more about what you do. I'm a little bit running out of time here, but if you have any questions for me or for Johnny, feel free to type them in. We got a few minutes here. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing. Now, you mentioned some things here. I want to give you a couple minutes to talk about what you're doing. But you mentioned, before you do that, churches and ministries should use Facebook, should use Twitter. And of course, they got to manage that, as you were just saying there. That was part of the management thing, is get on there and be active on it, mm-hmm. connect with your people,
respond when they respond.
Okay.
Yeah.
So really, and that's part of the thing. I know a lot of people that open up these accounts, but they never seem to do anything with them, and then they wonder, well, gee, why isn't nobody connecting with me? But you've got to reach out. It's kind of like the old saying: if you want friends, you got to be a friend.
Yes.
And I think that's true probably even with social media, right?
Yeah.
So social media can really help your church. All right, give me a couple minutes of tell me what you're doing. What's the J3 Effect?
The J3 Effect is a company that is our purpose is to help build relationships, and so we build websites that are very relational websites that tell stories about the doctor or the and instead of just the general information about we strive to do the very best work that we possibly can do.
Okay, so more than just that. We're
going to tell stories about why they became a doctor, or why they became a dentist, or the fact that they are a soccer player, that they still love to play handball or whatever.
Okay.
And then we also actually set up social media systems, which include all of the tools that we've talked about, plus a bunch of other things that tie them all together in a synergistic way. And then we will actually manage the system for them, because most businesses are seeing a need for this, but they don't have the time to do it. And so we provide the kind of support that I have described.
Now, you would do that for churches too, right?
Certainly, we do it for any organization.
I mean, their money's as green as anybody else's. Right?
In fact, we would, we are a Christian company, and we'd love to do it for a church. Absolutely.
You don't know me, so you
yeah,
don't know my humor.
Yeah, their money is just as green.
Yeah. But okay, so you guys actually will help businesses and churches do that, and even manage it, which is what we were talking about earlier. And again, that's a key thing, because if you don't do anything with it, it's like a waste of internet space.
Now, it's always best that the organization that has the system participates on it. It makes it much more vibrant.
Right.
But we become that safety net that's doing something there every day.
Okay.
And like if we're working with the church, we might be the captain of a group of volunteers.
Right.
And give continuous leadership to that specific area.
Okay. Good. Social media, my goodness, it is quite a deal these days.
Exploding.
It's exploding. And I would say that if your church or your ministry or even your business is not using social media to some degree, you're missing out. I mean, TV's good, radio's good, but it can be expensive. And really, the cost of social media compared to all those other areas of media, pretty cheap, isn't it?
Well, Facebook is free.
Yeah.
But having someone manage it for you and making it work takes time.
Right. So
the cost is in time, and so it really isn't free. If your time's worth anything, it's not free. And so it's a matter of whether or not it's worth your time or worth hiring somebody to do it, or a volunteer gives their time to do it, which is tremendous.
But if you're trying to reach people, it's worth it. And
it
obviously
is
church work.
Well, some blogger kind of boldly said, and this was about business, because they're always asking what's the ROI, and some businesses are proving that there's an ROI to it, but some are saying, well, the more important thing is the return on engagement, the ROE, and he said that the ROI of social media is that your business will exist 5 years from now. And that was a little bold, but that kind of stops you to think a little bit. This really is an important way to reach people.
Really is. And by the way, did you see that movie, the Social? What was it called? Social.
Social Network. I have not gone to see that.
You haven't seen it.
And I'm the one who definitely should have seen it, but I haven't.
You gotta go see it.
But I will see that.
You should see it. It's good. I'd encourage anybody to see it. Steve and I saw it, and we really enjoyed it. So
I need to give you that tip.
Yeah, please. Oh, yeah, quickly. We got a minute. So
okay.
Go ahead. Give me the tip.
All right. Facebook just recently revamped a whole bunch of things, and one of the things they did was make the font smaller.
Right.
Okay. On your computer, if you punch Control+,
okay,
it'll make the font get bigger. Control+, it'll make it get bigger again. Control+. Control- makes it get smaller. Okay. It actually does it on anything that's on your screen.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't that a Windows deal or something?
It's a Windows deal, but most people don't know that.
Okay, so Control+ makes it bigger. So I don't have to wear my granny glasses.
Yeah, you can make your Facebook page where you can read it.
Wow, okay. That alone, Johnny, was worth the time we spent here today. Well, I really do appreciate you coming on. And I know you've got different people on your team as well. And I think probably down the road here a little ways we'll have either you or maybe some other members of your team on to talk a little bit more about this.
That'd be great. We do have some awesome people on the team.
We really do. Okay, so here's what the deal is. If folks, if you want to, we're just about out of time. We'll probably stop streaming here in a minute or so, but we will still be online here, so you can ask some questions via chat here. Even though the picture's going to go away, we'll be on for a few minutes to field any questions you might have. Again, check out our archives. We've got archives. We'll be archiving this here in a day or so, and you can refer that out. And if there's anything we can do here at StreamingChurch.tv to help you, please let us know. Okay, so once again, thank you, Johnny.
Phil, it's really a delight to be here, and May the Lord bless you.
Well, it's the same for you. And on behalf of Steve Lacey behind the camera here, and myself, Phil Thompson, and Johnny, and others, thanks for being with us here today. We'll be with you next Thursday, 6 o'clock here in Arizona. Thanks again. God bless. Have a great week and a great weekend.